It goes without saying that new puppies are completely adorable, but despite this, there will be times during the first few days you bring your puppy home that you question the sanity of the decision to get them at all. But hang in there. When you're sleep deprived and your life has just been turned upside down, it isn't the best time to make major decisions. Hopefully, with the help of this video and the other guides and resources you'll find on the Labrador site website, peace will soon be restored. We'll look at some of the areas where puppies and new parents come into conflict and some help and advice for getting through those early weeks. Let's start by talking about feeding. Puppies need feeding much more frequently than older dogs. Not because they can't eat a whole day's food in one go, but because if they do, it upsets their stomachs, and looking after a puppy with diarrhea is not fun. Don't be tempted to let your puppy keep eating just because they seem hungry. You have to ration the food for them. Night times are one of the biggest causes of contention between puppies and their owners. It's best not to expect your puppy to sleep on or in your bed. They might fall off, hurt themselves, wander around your bedroom leaving little puddles. They'll also spend some time getting stuck behind the wardrobe and chewing through the cables. It's also best not to leave a puppy to free roam at night. There is so much potential for harm. There are three main options that work really well for 8-week puppies when it comes to night times: a safe sleeping area, a crate, or a box next to your bed. Let's look at the safe sleeping area first. Just before you go to bed and after taking the puppy outside to empty themselves, you can put them to bed in a puppy-proof room with a washable floor or in a large puppy playpen. Put plenty of newspaper or puppy pads down to cover the floor, as they will pee or poop during the night and you'll need to clean it up promptly in the morning to avoid them jumping in it. A puppy crate is the second option. You can shut them in a small enough crate and set an alarm to remind you to take them out during the night. If you get this right, your puppy will be clean and dry from the start, and you won't have the jumping and poop problem that those using the first option often struggle with. On the other hand, you will have to get up in the night, possibly for a week or two, because a lot of small puppies can't last the night without a pee. Final option is putting them next to your bed, either in a box or in a crate again. You'll probably still need to get up in the night, but you won't need to set an alarm because you'll hear the puppy stir and whimper when they need to use the bathroom. If they're a little worried, you'll be able to stroke or comfort them without getting out of bed. It's a good solution to begin with because puppies subjected to the first two can become distressed. Remember that most 8-week-old puppies have never slept alone. If asked to sleep alone on the first night, they will cry, and a little puppy can make a big noise. Unless you live in a detached mansion, you'll be able to hear him, and so will your neighbours. The best way around this is to have the puppy sleep next to you for the first few nights. It doesn't have to be permanent. Once they're settled in and aren't so homesick, you'll be able to move them into their own room if you want them to. It's important to be aware that new puppies learn very quickly, and whilst initial crying may be the result of fear or loneliness, puppies soon discover that crying gets them attention. Over the next few weeks, you'll want your puppy to be clean and dry in the house, and potty training can start on the first day, but it's important to be aware of its limitations. During the day, you'll need to take your puppy outside frequently or provide them with a toileting area with pee pads. Puppies pee much more frequently during the day. Some can last an hour or so, but many can't. If you're intending to crate train, I'll link to a comprehensive set of instructions for that in an article down below. The secret to success in crate training an 8-week-old puppy lies in getting good habits established from the start. That means getting the puppy outside to use the toilet area whenever their little bladder is getting full. Puppies do need to learn to cope with being alone for short periods right from the start. Your puppy will quickly become comfortable with you disappearing for a few minutes if you reliably return, but too much isolation is a common cause of noise or destructive behaviour because puppies need company. Even an adult Labrador will become distressed and destructive if left alone for a full working day on a regular basis. They're very social and need to have people around. If you want to return to work full time, you'll need a dog walker or a puppy crash arranged. You'll also find lots of help and advice for working puppy parents linked below this video. So if you do work full time and you've just brought home a puppy, don't panic. Go and check that out. There are plenty of options. Biting is a really big deal and a big problem area for a lot of puppy parents. Most people know puppies nip when teething, but they don't know just how much it hurts. In fact, some new owners are really shocked, and by the noise that accompanies it. Fierce growling during play biting is actually completely normal for small puppies. It doesn't mean that they're aggressive, but it can be pretty stressful to listen to and cope with. We've got a full guide to biting puppies below as well, but a lot of managing those early weeks is just to do with redirecting with toys and making sure that that new puppy doesn't get too overexcited. And a similar situation goes for chewing. Small puppies chew, and dogs like Labradors can be incredibly destructive both inside and outside if left unsupervised. Expect your puppy to destroy anything that they can get into their mouths. If something's precious, make sure they don't have access to it. What you probably will be able to rely on for the first few days is your puppy following you around. Tiny puppies have an automatic response to stay together. This response disappears by the time they're 4 or 5 months old, so don't wait that long to let them off the leash. If your dog is a Labrador like ours, then they'll love to hunt and follow scent trails, and once they are older they will want to explore, so now is the time to get started with some positive recall experience. Divide a certain amount of your puppy's rations for the day that you can give them whenever they come and check in with you, just to really reinforce that bond. It's really important to note that puppies are not naughty. Stealing food from the counter isn't naughty. Begging at the table isn't naughty. It's normal. It's just a lack of training. Our 3 R's of puppy education, which again I'll link to below, are a great start for avoiding actual naughtiness, but you must remember that training is a long process. Getting a dog to respond to a cue like sit or shake hands is easy, but doing it in the kitchen with no one else around is not training. It's just the first step. They have learnt to respond to a cue in a really simple setting. If you want them to keep doing that when there's distractions around, you're going to have to put in a bit more work. And you're totally able to do that. It's not going to be much effort, but don't expect too much from your puppy when they're still very small. Speaking of expectations, we've got a lot of unreasonable expectations of our puppies. We expect them to want to be cuddled. We expect children to be able to play with them without being bitten. We expect them to not have accidents and to be happily stroked and to join us on walks and games, and as they grow our expectations grow too. The reality of life with a new puppy can be shocking. Many of us do not expect weeks of broken sleep, nor had we anticipated just how depressing it would be to clear up puppy pee and poo. We hadn't planned on complaints from angry neighbours about barking or whining when we leave the house either, and we certainly don't expect to be dragged off our feet when we take them for a walk. These things probably won't all happen to you, but they are common reasons for people to become disenchanted with their puppies within the first weeks or months of bringing them home. One of our main aims at the Labrador site, both on these videos and on our website, is help close the gap between expectations and reality. We want you to understand that having a puppy is a wonderful thing, but it's also going to be stressful and it's going to be hard sometimes. But there are simple ways to work through those challenges that will help your dog grow up into a wonderful companion that you are going to enjoy, hopefully, the next 10 years or more together with. If you've got any worries about your new puppy, if there's anything that they are doing that you think isn't normal or you need help with, just pop us a comment below. Try my best to answer your questions there. I'll see you in the comments, and I'm wishing you and your puppy the most amazing experience together.